Okay. Hello. Apologies for the delay in starting the reading. I'm trying a new setup today. I have turned the camera the other way, so I actually won't be able to see any comments until after I finished recording. So I trust that you can see better this time, and I trust that you can hear me. And I'm so happy for anyone who has come to join me for the reading for next week. Now we start the reading from Friday until the following Thursday. So if you're still looking for guidance for, I guess, what's left of today or tomorrow, you can go back to last week's video. That will still be covered in that. Or we can start looking at the week ahead, starting from this weekend. I really like the idea of starting with the weekend, and we will again, I just have to choose which deck first. We will draw 2 scene cards for the week first again, which I can put up here, and then we can come back to them during and after the reading as well to see how they work together with the tarot cards that we got. I will draw 1 tarot cards for each week there, so we will have 9 cards altogether. So let's have a good shuffle here. This is a combined deck from Kyle Gray. I combined the Keepers of the Light with the Angel Prayer deck. They're 2 very beautiful decks of cards. I have this lovely silver rim. I've also got here a lovely rose quartz candle. I'm really feeling this gentle inner child healing energy today. There is very, very good energy opportunities at the moment for inner child healing in a way that we haven't had for a while. So if this is a process you've started already, keep going with it. Now things can shift much quicker than before, and you can make big leaps forward with this if you're willing to put your focus on it at the moment. And oftentimes the way to do inner child work actually mostly requires you to slow down a little bit in order to be able to be a bit more playful with the flow of life, and that itself will already go a long way towards healing your inner child. When you actually do it, it's surprisingly easy. But getting to the place where you're able to do it can be tricky. If you haven't done any work on your inner child so far, or not very much, like I said, this is very good energy for it right now. So get to it, I guess, if you want to. Also, I have the Angel Daniel here. He loves being in all of my readings. A lot of what I channel in these live readings and also in my private readings comes from the Angel Daniel. I do also channel other angels and other spirit guides and also ancestors. But Daniel works with me very closely. Right, I think I've shuffled these enough now. And I've got some nice crystals up to there. I'm going to close my eyes and draw a card. We have a beautiful card. I trust that you can see this. We have a beautiful card that says, Honor Your Beauty, Archangel Jophiel. What amazing, lovely green wings she has, and she's all glowing. And the affirmation you can use with this card is, thank you, Jophiel, for helping me discover my inner and outer beauty. And it's so important to really appreciate both. It's not one or the other, or it's not one is more important than the other, or you can only have one or the other. It really is, we all have both. And it's important for us ourselves to be able to see both. That's much more important than what other people see. So I'm going to put this one here. Let's close this up just a little bit, and then it will stand up better. Here we go. So just going to say again, if you are commenting, I'm so grateful for any comments, any thumbs up, any love you send me, any sharing of any of my videos. I'm not able to see the comments today until after the live recording has finished. So I will definitely read your comments and reply later. Also, all of my videos are now uploaded on my YouTube channel that is called Indigo Owl. Which is me. I don't think I introduced myself properly at the beginning this time. I'm starting to get on top of my technical competency in terms of these live readings. I would like to think I'm getting better as I go along. I have lovely support with this as well, on Earth and in Heaven, which is very encouraging for me. I'm going to keep shuffling this card. So the second scene card will be coming from a combined deck by Leah and Peters from Temple of Balance. It's the deck Speed of Light Oracle and the Animal Kingdom Oracle deck together. And again, I will close my eyes to draw a card so I don't on purposely choose one or the other deck. And we have an Animal Kingdom Oracle, the Emperor Moss. The Emperor Moss says, put things into order. I love this energy. So we have this very gentle energy around honouring our own beauty from the Archangel Jophiel, and with very similar colours from a completely different deck of cards with a very different vibration in some ways. We have the Emperor Moss saying, put things into order. So this is a very interesting combination of energies where we have this gentle energy of, and funny enough, I started by talking about inner child healing, which I think a lot of this often has to do with inner child healing. A lot of times if we have difficulty honouring our beauty or find it challenging in some way, it's because of some kind of a inner child issue of thinking we're not worthy or we would be vain or things like that. So we have this very gentle healing energy that's all around kind of flowing and beauty and gentleness, and at the same time we have the Emperor Moss that's saying put things into order, and they seem like very different energies, and yet we can be that inner child at the same time as the adult that's still kind of looking at the practical side of life right now. And this is almost like two different parts of ourselves working on different levels. The kind of more adult part is putting things into order and preparing, whereas the inner part is doing this beautiful healing. So these are very, very promising scene cards for this next week, starting from this Friday. So let's start having a good shuffle of the tarot cards, just making sure it's the right way up. So I have the Fantastical Tarot here today. For quite a while I've been using my Fairy Tarot a lot, and now I'm back to a more traditional tarot deck, although it's not really old-fashioned. It's a modernish tarot deck, but fairly traditional in terms of the major and minor arcana that are in there. I'm going to have to do this one more time. I always shuffle as long as I feel I need to shuffle until the energy in the cards is ready and until Spirit is ready to work for me. I get my own little messages sometimes from these glimpses when the cards simply just stop and it's just a feeling I get. And then I have to look at the card because Spirit is giving me that message. Okay, so let's draw 7 cards and see what we get. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way over here. Now, if you know me by now, you know that I am always so curious to see what cards we've got. Doesn't matter how many years I've been reading cards, I can still be surprised by the cards that come up. Very swiftly we shall start with Friday. Let's see what we've got for Friday. We have the Knight of Wands. So Knights in Tarot come for situations where there's movement and action. And Wands in Tarot come for the area of life that's to do with career and spiritual journeys through life. It goes with the element of fire. The Knight of Wands, if it is a person, it would be somebody with a lot of fire, somebody who might act quite passionately and quite fast. However, the fire can also very quickly go out again, and he or she might come into your life very quickly and might also be gone again very quickly. So if the Knight of Wands is a person, it may not be somebody you can rely on in the long term. Doesn't mean you can't benefit and cooperate with their energy and both gain something from it. Because the card has come for a day, now that card also has the meaning, or it represents the will to move ahead, which is something you only need usually when things have been a bit challenging in terms of movement, or maybe haven't been moving, or maybe what you need in order to move forward is not what you're comfortable doing. So, because that card has come for the day for all of you, I'm just looking at the card because sometimes Spirit stops me because Spirit doesn't want me to just reiterate what I know about the general meaning of the card itself. Spirit wants me to channel the message that's coming through for all of you. So the feeling for the day of Friday the 15th is that all we need to put things into order is the will to move ahead. So that very much says we know what we need to do. We may not be comfortable with it. It may not be in our comfort zone, but a lot of things recently haven't felt like they're in our comfort zone. Even things that used to be have felt different when we did them. So on Friday, it's really important to muster up that will to move ahead in order to put things into order. Let's look at Saturday. Oh, and immediately we're then followed on with the card of new opportunity. The Magician in Tarot is the second card actually in the Major Arcana. The first card is Zero, the Fool, which is a completely new beginning of a whole new phase. And the Magician is the very next step. He has one of each of the elements, which represents his gifts and talents. It represents at least one great opportunity. It can be more than one. And it very much says we have the skill and the gifts to move ahead with something. So being willing to put things into order is important in order for us to kind of I almost feel like we're on a board. I'm getting the image of the board where you jump into the water and it kind of bounces a bit. So we need to be ready to walk along that board and be able to be willing to feel that bounce a little bit and be willing to take that leap of faith and jump into the water of new opportunities. But it will be very rewarding. And underneath all of that, we have to continue to honour our own beauty, which is entwined with this new energy that's coming in. Let's look at the card for Sunday. Wow, the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is sometimes nicknamed lasting happiness, as opposed to, I guess, fleeting happiness. Fleeting happiness is not that hard to come by. It's a bit like instant gratification. Lasting happiness usually takes some patience and some willingness to move out of your comfort zone. So the Ten of Cups has come for Sunday. And the cups in tarot come for things to do with emotions and relationships. And very much the number 10 in tarot is a number of completion. So this represents the completion of a lesson to do with relationships, our relationship with ourselves and our relationships with others that then benefit from our relationship with ourselves. That very much decides how much, how deeply and how openly we can engage with others in relationship, any kind of relationship. So this looks very promising so far, and it looks like Sunday will be a very pleasant day. Let's look at Monday. On Monday, we have the Knight of Swords. We have another knight. And again, knights are for situations where there's movement and action. The Knight of Swords can come for situations that move very quickly and can almost feel like a whirlwind. And sometimes it's not until the movement has stopped that we can see what's actually happened. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be a little bit confusing while it's happening. And the Swords in Tarot come for things more to do with thinking and logic. So there might be a lot of mental adjustments happening on Monday. Because of this kind of new energy and new opportunities beginning, we might have to adjust very quickly mentally where we're at. I really literally get the feeling that we might be moving quicker than we had expected. And I love how the two knights are actually facing each other. There's the knight, this knight is pushing that way, saying, let's have the will to move ahead. And this knight is pushing back, saying, okay, I've got it now, I'm taking over. So let's look at Tuesday. I do hope you can see all of these cards. We have the Five of Cups for Tuesday. Now, we're back to the cups. The Five of Cups is a card that's often called things like disappointment, grief, I feel like saying neglect. I don't know where that word came from. That's not a word I normally use for this card. This lady, 3 cups have been spilled and she's been very upset about this, but 2 of her cups are still standing up. And she has now reached a point where she is able to focus on the 2 cups that are still standing, rather than keep looking back to the past and things that haven't worked out for her. She's now focusing on the things that are working for her. So this card can represent literally getting over that period of grief over things that haven't worked out for us, and being ready to look forward again. And she will take her 2 cups and get up and go towards the tree of life, which I guess represents getting on with her life. So interesting development so far. Let's look at Wednesday. And now we have a big sword. We have the Ace of Swords. Now, aces in tarot come for new beginnings, new challenges, and the Ace of Swords in particular can represent victory in the forms of being able to finally cut to the crux of the matter. And I feel, again, that relates back to the difficulties we might have faced in the past to do with honouring our own beauty and how we feel about doing it, and whether we feel we need to do it secretly or whether we feel it's okay to show it. And there's going to be some big breakthrough around this that will help us with hold-ups to do with putting our things into order. Let's look at the last card, which is for Thursday, I believe the 21st of November. We have the 9 of Cups. Now, I know it was reversed here, but I also know that when I drew the cards and then laid them out, I had a feeling I had turned that card upside down, but I didn't want to look until now. Because it was here, no, I was about to say because it was here upside down, I will read it upside down, but it just doesn't feel right, because I kind of knew I'd done it. It didn't happen completely without me noticing, and it was just me kind of not being used to laying out the cards like this. Even if we read the card upside down, it would just mean that there might be a bit of a delay on it happening. However, it's following on straight from the Ace of Swords, so I'm not seeing a delay here. The 9 of Cups. So we have the 10 of Cups and the 9 of Cups. 2 very good cards to do with anything we feel emotional about, any relationships in our life. The 9 of Cups is often called the wish card. It's the card of dreams coming true. So we have an amazing week ahead where a lot is going to happen, but also with a huge potential for emotional fulfillment that maybe we haven't been able to open up to for some time. So let me see if the angel Daniel has any final words he would like me to impart before I finish this reading. Looking at all of the cards together. Okay, the angel Daniel is offering his help and support and guidance to all of you. He says, if you are ready, open up and I will come in and help you. I will guide you. I will bring angelic light from myself, from my group, from many other angels. I will help you connect with your guardian angel more closely. I'm here to help. Trust in yourself and in your divine guidance. And with that, I will say namaste. I hope you have enjoyed this reading. Please like, share, comment, send me some love. Let me know if any of it resonates. You can also follow me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is called Indigo Owl, like me. It has been my pleasure to read for you. I hope you have an amazing week ahead, and I shall be back here next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Thank you very much.